So are you one of those golfers that when you get an iron in your hand, you set up to the target, and as a general rule, you feel that your accuracy is not bad. If they're not dead straight, they're very, very playable. But then, driver comes out, and even though you're good with the irons, you set up with driver, put the swing on it, the strike's poor, it's a massive slice out to the right, and you really feel that just with driver you can't get the ball in play. Now, you might be a small minority of golfers, though, who are actually very, very good with driver and then struggle with their irons. So in today's video, I'm going to show you why you're only good with one part and not with everything. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to improve so that you're good with driver, fairways, hybrids, and irons. So when we talk about why the golf ball does what it does, and I'm assuming a fairly decent strike with this, is the golf ball sets off incredibly close to where the club face points at impact and then shapes based about the path the club's moving on. So the direction that the club's moving at impact with the ball. So as a simplistic view of your golf swing is a big circle around your body. So because you stand to the side of the ball, the circle's on an angle, which creates that path through the bottom. Now, every time you're hitting the ball when it's on the floor, we want the lowest point of our golf swing to be after the golf ball, but with driver, we'd like it to be behind. Now, what a lot of golfers don't appreciate is you can actually make an incredibly similar movement, so get the direction of the swing to be the same, but if your low point's in the wrong place, it's going to affect the path, therefore affect the shape of your shot. So what a lot of golfers will find is that when they swing an iron, they will generally swing left or out to in. Now, the little advantage we can have with an iron is if we were to swing a little bit left, as long as that low point is ahead of the golf ball, the path becomes incredibly straight. So we can see on that shot on TrackMan there, my swing direction, which is the direction the club moves at the low point, is 4.5 degrees out to in. Low point's 5 inches ahead, therefore my path is under a degree out to in. Club face has been nice and straight, and there's a dead straight shot. So if you are somebody who worries that you're a little bit out to in with your irons, it's probably not the path that causes your bad shots, because as long as you get that low point ahead of the golf ball, you're going to hit some high quality golf shots. Now, where we start getting into trouble is golfers who swing left also are very aware that if they want to maximise distance with driver, they want to get the club travelling up to impact. So they try and get their low point back behind the golf ball. Now, the problem is, when the low point's behind, you can see how the club would actually be moving up, but also moving more left or out to in. So if you're somebody, for argument's sake, who swung 4.5 degrees left with an iron, that might be very manageable. But if you suddenly start doing that with driver, so more exaggerated with the swing direction, low point was behind, but my path becomes massively out to in, and all of a sudden the ball curves way out to the right. So if you're somebody that's happy with irons but struggle a little bit with driver because you slice the ball, what I want you to try and think about in your golf swing is, instead of trying to swing the circle straight towards the target, I want you to feel like you're going to swing much more to the right. So almost like my circle's going to go more towards the camera. Now, obviously it's still a case of getting that club face doing what we need, but if you're just working on this, you're going to set up, like I said, feel like the circle's being drawn more over to the right, and if my low point's now behind, we start to see the ball shape very differently. So we can see my swing direction was 4.5 degrees from the inside. My low point was 7 inches behind, but my path was still 1 degree out to in. Now, if you're a slicer with a golf ball, you won't mind seeing that. And like I said, as long as you've got that club face still kind of towards target, the more you swing to the right, the more that club travels up, the more neutral the path's going to be. It can be very challenging when you've sliced the ball to suddenly feel, hang on, I want to swing more this way. Because your brain thinks the ball's going to miss even more that way. But majority of golfers, and I would say 99% of golfers I see, do struggle with that concept. So they need to feel like they draw that circle. Don't necessarily even worry too much about all the moving parts involved. But if you can swing more to the right, and at the lowest point, the club be moving to the right, we're going to start straightening the path out and get rid of that horrible slice. And if you can stand up and hit something along those lines, again, we can see swing direction 4.5 from the inside, low point 6.5 inches behind, path very neutral, very different shape of shot, and an incredibly different drive. Now that's if you're somebody who hits irons straight, but slices driver. Now if you're maybe more like I was as a junior, who maybe just a baby draw with driver, but big hooks and pushes with the irons, you can be very different. So you're already going to be somebody who swings a lot from the inside. So then you can kind of feel that as you set up, consciously, you're not going to try and draw straight, because we know we're this way. You're actually going to try and swing a little bit more left. So as you get there, you stand up, swing left. And this has definitely been a massive game changer for me a few years ago with my irons. Not that they're great every time, but as I stand there and swing more left, I can see there 4 degrees left with swing direction, low point actually further ahead, which helps me compress the ball better, path very neutral, and club face very, very neutral. So if you are somebody who slices driver, you definitely need to work on drawing your circle more to the right. If you're somebody who draws it and hooks it, you want to feel more left. And I think golfers get very caught up with different positions in the golf swing. Remember, the only position the golf ball knows is where that club face is pointing and the direction that the club's moving through impact. So as long as you understand why your shot is caused and you know what you need to work on, I can't promise you'll always do it better, but I can promise that if you focus on what you need to do, so for me, definitely with irons, I want to feel like I swing more left. And I can live with that all day long, just drifting on the breeze a little bit, but some very, very good numbers. But actually with driver nowadays, because I've worked so much on that with my irons, I need to feel the other way with driver. So aim fairly straight, feel like I swing much more from the inside. And even when it's not absolutely perfect, we can see there, completely different swing directions between driver and irons. Because the low point's been different, both of those have resulted in very straight swing paths. As long as I can point that in the right place, I'm going to hit lots, if not dead straight shots, shapeless shots, get in play with both driver, hit my irons well, and ultimately through the bag, feel that I know what I need to think about to hit the best shots possible.